Yeah, it's CC, the CEO. Wanna change your life? Come see me, yo. I'ma teach you how to build up wealth for your family, not just for yourself. I'm a bestseller, a house flipper, a businesswoman, a go-getter, a big investor, a goal builder that can teach you to get richer like millions, baby. You really about to fill your savings. You about to have multiple streams to impact your children, baby. Let me teach you to get your credit on track in the long run. You'll make it all back at Catalyst and watch it all psychological black-owned firm, but we ain't all black.
Hey, y'all, what's happening? It's your girl, Constance Carter, and I'm live and direct with you on a Friday night. How y'all doing? Come on in, and make yourself at home. Welcome. What's up, Shock Rocker King Black? What's happening tonight? It's Friday night, and I'm glad you guys are joining us. I love you too, Nori I. Thank you guys for coming in. Thank you guys for coming in. While you're coming in, I want to make sure that you tell us where you are from, because we have people that are watching from all over the world. What's up, Tamia? Nori, you and me. Okay, NYC in the building. That's what's up. That's what's up. Where are you guys from? What's up, Shaka? Thank you guys for joining me. I love seeing you guys every single night, Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. While you're coming in, welcome, make yourself at home. You guys know how I do it. This is a dialogue and not a monologue. I love for you to talk back to me and talk black to me, okay? What's up, Joyce? Great evening from Florida. Crystal, thank you. Miss Joyce is from Dallas. What's happening, Joyce? What's going on, Karen from Chicago? What's happening? Come on in, you guys. Make yourself at home. And listen, we're going to have some good stuff to talk about. And I brought some friends along tonight because we're going to have a nice little dialogue. This is going to be very, 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 very interesting, okay? What's up, Stefan from Jacksonville, Florida? Come on in. While you're coming in, I want to make sure that you are following us on Fly Nubian Queen on Facebook and on YouTube. So make sure you hit the thumbs up. Make sure you hit the subscribe, because we need you to know that we are here every night. Make sure you hit that little bell on YouTube page too. That little bell that says get an alert every time we go live. I want you to hit that bell so that you're alerted every time we go live. And then I want you to go over to Nobody Works Harder Than Constance Carter. Also, subscribe to that page too, because I love you and you love me. And then we can all keep in contact, okay? So make sure you're following my page on YouTube as well, Nobody Works Harder Than Constance Carter, and on Facebook. Then on Instagram, go and follow your girl at I Am Constance Carter. You can also put your social media in the chat box too, because we want to know where you from, how we can follow you back. Because it's a follow for follow. It's not like I just want you to follow me. I want to follow all you guys back. So go ahead and put your social media handle in the chat box as well. Okay. So we are going to have a very, very interesting dialogue today about narcissism. And Derrick Jaxn has been on the topic of everybody's conversation. And no, it hasn't gotten old yet. Really, to be honest with you, it's a really great and interesting conversation, and it brought to light so much, about so many things, about relationship, about imposters, about imposter syndrome, about narcissism, about grandiose thinking, about so much. I think that people suffer with mentally that they don't even know, or we may be dealing with somebody that possesses these traits and we don't even know. And so if you have dealt with a narcissist, he's a big ass buster. If you've dealt with a narcissist, hey Noriai, put in the chat box that you've dealt with a narcissist. And Janice, aloha from Honolulu. Yes. Karen, thank you. Jay Singh from Chicago. Again, make sure you're hitting the thumbs up. Make sure you're hearting this. Make sure you're liking this. Again, hey Rondell from Connecticut. Anthony said he's a narcissist. And you know what? Admitting is the first step to the problem. I'm glad that you admitted that, Anthony. That's actually, a lot of narcissists wouldn't admit they're narcissists because they do what's called a lot of gaslighting. They blame, they don't take accountability or responsibility. They think that everything is fine. So, that's actually something that that's a great thing to admit to if you're really serious. Leanna says, I have for 9 years and I'm finally free. And that's the thing, is that most people, when they've dated narcissists, and when they're finally free from narcissists, it's like being released from prison. It's not just like a regular relationship where you just kind of go through the rigmarole. It's a mind F. They're in bondage. There's certain things that happen when you're captivated by a narcissist, because one minute you think that they love your dirty draws, and then the next minute you can't do anything right. There's no accountability and there's no responsibility. So let's talk to a few people. I want to talk to a few people who've had situations where they've dated narcissists. Racists are narcissists. All right, well, let's talk about them. So let's bring on our guests and let's talk about narcissism and their experience with narcissism. And this is Miss Tamisha. Hey, Shay. How you doing, Miss Shay? Jason, we have a male perspective. And Miss Imani, Miss Nia Imani, all here. Hey, you guys. How you guys doing tonight? So y'all, go ahead and unmute yourself. We're about to have a very real dialogue, and I want you to be very real and very transparent because narcissism ain't no joke. And we talk about it, we laugh about it, but really, it's no joke because, like a lot of people in the comments said, once you like deal with a narcissist, when you finally break free from them, it's like you like a runaway slave getting off that plantation. Tamisha, tell us about your experience with your narcissist.
Ooh, child, how much time you got?
Come on. Let's talk about it.
Okay, so I had one memorable experience. I never knew what a narcissist was until I dealt with one, right?
Most people
don't. Girl, I learned well. So this is maybe about 4 years ago now, right? My dad had just passed. I didn't think I was in a vulnerable space, but I was, right? Met this cat. Real nice looking dude. He was not from here, so that was a plus. And like he took an instant liking to me, which was cool. I'm a likable person. Everything was cool. A friend of mine hooked us up. I'm like, oh wow, okay. He said he wants to settle down. He's looking for a wife, and I got all the qualities you're looking for. All this stuff, right? Within a week's time, so much drama was created behind this person. And I'm like, what is going on? I was like, okay, well, he a new person here. I could see, we ain't together like that. I could see other women liking him or whatever have you. But it was drama. Like, it was like unwarranted, like to the point of people getting ready to come to blows. It was that bad, right? And so I asked him, like, what's going on with you? Like, you said one thing. It's seeming like it's something else. Like, are you dealing with somebody? It seemed like it's something not being said. He told me, like a typical narcissist, oh, you're tripping. It's not like that. I'm telling you the truth. I want to deal with you, so on and so forth. Okay, cool.
This was within a matter of days?
Within a matter of like a week, no lie. And I'm like, huh? Like, I never, being the age that I am, I've never dealt with anything like that. So I'll say maybe a month went by. Now he's saying, too many people are in our business. We don't need to follow each other on social media. Mind you, we're together every single day. Mind you, he's at my house. We don't need to follow each other on social media. I don't like people in my business. I'm so private, and I've never dealt with anything like that. And I said, well, let me try it this way, because maybe in the past I done said too much, and that's why things didn't work out in other relationships, right? I'm just thinking. That wasn't it. I mean, it was still more drama. He lied to his family, saying things like, oh, I don't know why that girl thinks we together. It's nothing like that. Again, we're together every single day, doing things every single day, like in a relationship. I can't talk to nobody else. All just drama. I'm trying to get it all out. It's so much. But anyways, it got so bad to a point that I lost friendships and all kinds of stuff dealing with this person. He just was a liar, like on the outside. It was like he had me in this little, what would you call it, like a cul-de-sac, right? He had me like trapped, right? Thinking, this relationship is going to be what we're doing. This is going to be a good thing. It's going to flourish and all this stuff. Whole time he telling people I'm crazy. Why would he want to deal with a fat ass girl? That ain't his type. He's a top notch dude. And all this crazy stuff. I don't know. None of this is going on. I'm like blind to it all. Okay.
But he's telling you that he love you, that everything is good.
Oh yeah. I'm all that. He loved my mama. Told her he want to marry me. All this stuff. But he literally is telling people I am delusional. With my fat ass, I was a lot bigger then, but I'm delusional. He would do all, and I didn't know any of this stuff. And I was wondering why people were looking at me like I'm damn crazy. He done gave this whole narrative. Whole time he's, what do you call that? Gaslighting me. And I did not know. When everything, I mean, this went on for about 9 months. I mean, we ended up living together, all this stuff. Whole time I'm helping him get on his feet, because like I told you, he wasn't from here. He would give me this sob story about how he grew up. He didn't have a mom, and his family got him out here and they doing him bad. So of course I'm like, well, this is my boo. I'm gonna help you out. Damn fool, that was me. But anyways, I'll say 9 months this went on, all this BS, just drama. That boy got 2 checks from Tesla, honey, and everything unraveled. Everything. This boy got kids he ain't told me about. He talking, I'm at work busting my ass. He lining up new broads to go live with, and everything. Everything. Not only was he a narcissist, I think somebody else had said it on here. He's a sociopath. I did my research, girl. He's been doing this stuff for years. Find big women to use and play games with, or women with a lot of children. That is some sick stuff. Sick.
Wow.
Very, very sick.
So
it had me so stressed out. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
So for what I read is like a lot of narcissists have mommy issues. Oh, can you hear me? You can't hear me? Y'all can hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Mm-hmm.
What I read is like a lot of narcissists have mommy issues, and you said that you mentioned that. Is that you guys, everybody else's experience? Like Shay, what happened with you and your narcissist? Did your narcissist have like mommy issues as well?
My narcissist had issues with everybody. And so mommy issues, definitely, absolutely. But his biggest thing is that, you know, he had a really grandiose way of thinking about himself. And so anybody and everybody, anyone that, you know, should have, or, you know, any parent that felt like that, you know, they could have something over him, he just was not having it. I spent 5 years with a narcissist, a person that I would have never chosen before. But what happens is that, you know, as men and women, you have to understand that in order to be in, I say, their realm, you have to be broken somewhere. And, you know, you end up allowing them to do things that you would never allow anyone else to do, because they're so charismatic. They seem like they care so much. Everybody else likes them. You know, most of them, you know, take good care of themselves. And so, you know, you just kind of get caught up in, you know, what everyone else thinks they see in them. And you get caught up in, well, you know, like I believe it was Tanisha said, you know, well, maybe there's a reason why my last relationships didn't work. For me, it was my relationship before the narcissist. I had realized that I was the issue in the relationship. And my issue was that I was not vulnerable enough for the person that I was with. And, you know, as Black women, we tend to have an issue with that. You know, not being vulnerable enough and trying to find that vulnerability. And so after him chasing, I finally gave in and was like, okay. And I said to myself, in this relationship, I will not be ending it. You know, it won't be because of me. I'm going to find my vulnerability, and I'm going to allow that to show. I'm going to allow him, you know, to, you know, I'm going to be his helpmeet. But helpmeets are for people that are married, not people that are dating, that I didn't know at the time because I was so young. So I was sitting here being a helpmeet to someone and opening my whole self to someone who, you know, took everything as ammunition and used everything. Mm-hmm.
When did you realize he was a narcissist? Because 5 years. So at what point did you realize, okay, this is really a problem? This is like a mental health issue.
So funny thing, and I don't know if anyone else could, I realized that he was bad news about a month into us dating. Bad news. Red flags everywhere.
But you know what
I didn't.
About red flags? You know what they say about the red? They say red flags be looking like 6 flags when you're feeling the weather.
It sure does. You're gonna have a red blanket hanging somewhere.
It'd be like 6 flags when you feeling somebody.
I'm telling you, I had them things stitched together. It was a sea of red. Like, it's just everywhere.
But you said 5 years.
5 years because I was broken in myself thinking, no, this is what relationships are. You know, the issues that we're going through, we can work through these things. I'm trying to be vulnerable, you know, and the problem is that not completely knowing myself, I allowed him to do the things that he did. And just, you know, thinking, nope, it'll work out someday. And then turned around 5 years and 2 babies while we were together. Not mine. Yeah.
Oh. Somebody else.
Yes, I'm woman enough to sit here and say I was stupid. But
Wow.
but yes, that was more towards the end of everything. And I realized that, yeah, he was a narcissist after the first one, after the first baby. After that, I was pretty much not caring, but still connected. Not caring, but still connected, because you have to understand it is literally a mind rape that happens when you get into their realm. And so there's parts of how they kind of like, you know, get in between and get into your mind and get into your soul that you feel like you're crazy. You really have to ask yourself. I'll stop and I'll give you this one thing. I remember being at I'm always a very respectful person. And I remember being at Cheesecake Factory. We're at Cheesecake Factory, and the waitress came by and she asked me a question. I can't remember what it was, but I just kind of did oh no, I'm okay. Just like that. He took that and we got in the car, and I can instantly see that there was something wrong with him. We got in the car and I noticed he didn't open my door. And I'm all like, what's going on? Okay. We sit in the car and he goes, I can't believe you.
Wow.
What do you mean? Do you think you're better than her? Do you think you're higher than her, that you could just wave her off? And he literally had me thinking to myself, did I do that? No, I know I didn't do that. I know I didn't do that. And for months, I thought to myself, am I that kind of person? Did I really do that? And he was upset with me. And I was like, you know, why would he say that? He loves me. He don't love me. He doesn't know what that means. So yeah, you really, and I'm a pretty strong person, you know, pretty strong personality, but you know, if that door is open, they'll walk right through it. I think you're muted, Constance.
I'm saying 5 years. Can you hear me? 5 years. You knew something was wrong within a month. 2 babies later, you said, I'm stupid. And then finally, that thing that happened with this other person is the thing that kind of was the turning point for you.
I would honestly tell you that there was lots of turning points, okay? But you have to understand what a narcissist, this is what would happen. I would completely, so I broke my rules. You have to understand, you can't break your own rules in relationships, right? The huge rule that I broke was never date anybody that you work with, right? Never. And so this person had everybody thinking I was crazy.
That's the gaslighting.
Gaslighting. People at our jobs was just, you know, they knew about this baby and just thought that I was some crazy ex-girlfriend. Then, you know, it was just a lot of things, and a lot of things in the background that he would tell me, you know, to keep me, you know, away from certain people, having me not like people, or me thinking that people weren't liking me. So it literally, like I said, is a mind rape. I realized that this was just too much for me. So month 1 is when I realized that he was actually in a relationship with someone else. After, there was other things that happened. I didn't hear from her for probably 2 years. So I'm like, okay, she's gone. No, she wasn't. And then, you know, it was just, I don't know. It just kept, you know, he was always covering his tracks. And at the time, you know, I just was, like I said, I was going through my own thing, finding myself. I was so young, trying to, you know, I was, when I met him, I was, I don't know, 20, I want to say I was 23 or 24 when I met him.
Termisha, how old were you?
Oh, sorry. Oh, 36. Too doggone old to be falling to be taking wooden nickels. 36.
Not with Nichols. Nia, what happened with your narcissist? Oh, you're muted, babe.
Am I?
Yep, go
Okay.
on. We hear you now.
First of all, I like to say that y'all see a head wrap, but this is a
No,
helmet of
I was gonna say I see a helmet of salvation. What are you talking about?
helmet of salvation because I had to bring my queen energy into the room. Okay.
Do y'all know what she's talking about? Do y'all know what she's talking about?
Yes, ma'am. Bring it on in.
Girl, I'm experiencing this in real time.
Oh, okay.
Like,
let's talk about it.
So I'm learning some new terms too. So, because I'm literally watching like this play out in public, and I'm learning like, girl, he was playing you. Like he's crazy as HELL. Okay. So I met this guy, kind of similar to the first young lady that was talking. What's your name again? Tamika.
Tarmisha.
Tamika. Tamisha. Okay. So what she is, you just kind of meet them and everything is accelerated. The same night that I met him, which was just a random, like he had put out on Facebook that he was doing like this meetup at Papados here. And it was like hundreds of people commenting on the post, like, oh, I'll meet you there for a happy hour, whatever. And it was just at a time last summer that I was saying, oh, I need to get out and meet more people. So I said, well, I would just go. And I get there and it's just him and I there at first. So I'm like, where is the rest of the people that was like commenting on this post? Like, this is not supposed to just be just him and I. And so some other people started coming, come to find out those are like his cousins. So like none of the public, his Facebook friends winded up showing up but me. So now I feel like I'm at the cousins cookout, right? And immediately that night, he starts calling me babe and like claiming me. I'm confused. They confused. They're like, where's the name, baby? Like, what? I'm lost. I'm sitting at the table like, what is happening? I just came. I just wanted to drink, meet some new people. Like, how did I become your girlfriend tonight? And like they both shared, they're very charismatic. They sweep you off your feet. They come through like a knight in shining armor. But girl, they got that pitchfork and they're ready to go in. And it totally caught me off guard because, I mean, we've dealt with people in the past, when we were younger. And back then, we just called them liars, right? You don't hear words like narcissist and gaslighting. And this is my new word that I learned. What that is called, Tamisha, is love bombing. That's a thing. This is what narcissists do. They love bomb you. They do all these charismatic things. They talk about you. Yes, they talk about you and pump you up, and then they criticize you. And out of nowhere, nothing is right. Your hair, your talk, just you as a person. I'm like, how did you go from this high to this weirdo? And I used to tell him all the time, like, you're one of the weirdest guys that I've dated, like ever. But they just keep sucking you in, right? And it's literally like this fantasy world that they have created about themselves. Just like Shay was saying, he thought so highly of himself. And honestly, I had this image of him too, because his online persona was one thing. But when I met him offline, everything started like falling apart. Like the week after I met him, like he was having financial trouble, but the man that I met at Papados was like balling till he was falling. He was buying everybody drinks. I mean, taking me out and doing all this stuff, that you want to be a part of. And then it just comes to a screeching halt.
Then he wanted to borrow some money.
Girl, like a weekend, he's like, babe, can I borrow
$50. Girl, I was like, and me, just like Shay was saying, I'm an alpha female, right? Let's just call a thing a thing. I'm a boss. I do what I want to do, how I want to do it. And I was working on being more submissive, more feminine, more, soft in a relationship. Girl, that came back to haunt me because I should have been handling him like I handled everybody else, because he got away with a lot of stuff because I didn't feel like being ghetto and hurting him.
You said ghetto?
Yes, ghetto, and hurting him very bad because it was awful. Just the way that he would talk to me, the way that he felt like he was superior, and he was like this big shot dude. But I'm like, boy, you just borrowed $20 from me, and like your table was off last time I came over here. Like, are you kidding me right now? And yeah, so it was just a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, and honestly, it had me tripping because I'm like, mad at myself and know that I shouldn't be here. But on the other hand, it's like you have this infatuation almost with their game. You start playing, they just kind of reel you in and you start becoming a part of this make-believe world. And even my friends were like, you guys are moving quite fast. Like, he's treating you like he's, your husband, or you guys are just kind of accelerated the process. And even though I knew that, I still just couldn't snap out of it.
How long
It was
did you date him?
8 months. 8 months too long.
So as you guys
huh?
No, go ahead.
Probably about 15 times, because I would be like, you know what, I'm done. I'm not about to deal with you. You crazy. Like, this is not normal. But at the time, I honestly thought it was like mommy issues. I knew he had some issues, but I didn't know that they were psychological issues until one day he kind of snitched on himself. So one day I was at his house. This is like 7 months in. And which was probably like a month ago, he turns on Kevin Samuels. And he's watching this guy, right? So he basically like exposed his source of all this whack, crazy, deranged information. He was definitely drinking the juice. I call him a super fan of Kevin Samuels because now that I know who he is, and I've been kind of, because I was at his house watching it. Facebook has the algorithm popping up with Kevin Samuels stuff now. And he literally would quote Kevin Samuels' rhetoric and chaos to me. And when I saw different videos, I'm like, this fool is it's like if us as women read Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man, and we're quoting verses out of the quote.
He quoting Kevin Samuels like he quoting scripture.
Like he quoting scripture, sis, and using it on me. And I'm pretty smart, but I did not catch it until recently.
A narcissist will get you caught up.
I said, this fool was literally quoting this crazy man. And the whole thing that bothers me about that is that, Kevin Samuels' thing is women over 35 with kids can't be in a relationship with a high-valued man and all this other stuff, right? For the most part, Kevin ain't a high-valued man. After some people did some digging and researching on his background, and then the guy that I was dating, he still don't even qualify to participate in that particular conversation. So these guys are completely deranged. I feel like they have misdirected energy against women. They use us as their victims, and they feel like they're justified in their actions because of whatever happened to them or whoever did what to them in the past. Like I said, I knew he had some issues, and he used to talk about like his grandfather was a pastor, and he was basically promiscuous or whatever, and his dad wasn't really in his life. So I knew he had some issues, but I didn't understand how deep they were until I started seeing this Derrick Jackson, Kevin Samuels characters start popping up, and then I'm watching this, learning what's happening to me,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, this crap.
But as all of you ladies are talking, I feel like I see so many men, not that I've dated, but so many men that I know that have popped up that I'm thinking, oh my God, this sounds like this person. Oh my God, this sounds like this person. Oh my God, this sounds like this person. And there are so many narcissists that we have in our everyday life, or maybe family members or friends, and don't even realize who they are or got a problem. You just, when you see him coming, you just be like, here this buster go, like here this dude go. Oh, here we go. He gonna come over here. He want to show out. He want to act like he got this. I know this Negro ain't got two nickels to rub together. You know what I mean? So we have those people that we know every day, and we just don't pay attention, or we don't know that they may be narcissists. Now I want to get to the brother, Mr. Jason. He's the only brother on the panel, and I definitely want to hear from his perspective, because we hear so many times from so many women that there are so many narcissistic men out there, but we rarely hear about those narcissist women. So I am extremely interested in hearing about your experience, Jason. What happened? Uh-oh, you're muted. Let's unmute you. There you go.
Can you hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
You can hear me all right?
Yep. We can hear you.
Okay, great. So ladies, thank you so much for sharing. There's a lot to unpack with narcissism, and I can't remember all the ladies, but don't blame yourself for anything that's ever happened. One of the ladies was saying, oh, I was stupid. The effects of gaslighting make you question reality, so much so that you are unsure of your own intelligence. So the woman who says she's a boss, narcissists look for people in positions of power, and they take advantage of people who are empathetic. So everyone on this call and watching in, we're all raised to treat relationships like they're a priority, like we're going to sacrifice, we're going to give all that we got. But narcissists take all that you got to give, and they know from you ladies that you have a lot to give. Now, I'm coming from a masculine perspective of, and I need to preface a few things. Derrick Jaxn, Kevin Samuels, and even myself, we're all three different men, and we're not all categorized, because then we would be generalizing women. Narcissists blame, they shift blame. It's not my fault, it's their fault over there, or it's this thing over here. Another lady, she was saying how the man was talking about his experiences as a kid and his parents and all that. Narcissists live in the world of half truths. So the stories that they tell you, don't use your mental energy to believe it be true or not. It's designed to bring your guard down so you can become more empathetic to them, and you're going to give them more as you become more empathetic to them. So my experience, I saw red flags just like you ladies did. But because we are normal people thinking that I'm going to love them anyway, that is our fault, in a sense of taking accountability. Like, I saw these red flags, I should have set up boundaries. And most empathetic people generally don't have strong boundaries, because we don't believe that somebody's going to come into our lives to destroy us. We don't believe that's going to happen. Especially, as a man, you don't hear about this, but emotional and mental manipulation, that's covert aggression, where you can't fight back physically and you don't know what's going on. And then why people stay in these relationships is because we're bonded to this person. The lady mentioned love bombing. Love bombing creates a traumatic bond, so that it's the highs and lows, the hot and cold. One minute they're really nice, the next minute they're silent as a mouse, and you don't know what's going on. You think you're walking on eggshells, but they broke the eggs, and they're walking on the shells that they caused, making you think that they're walking on eggshells. That's what you're dealing with. So there are tactics and ways. I don't know, Constance, if you want me to talk about like what I had to do prior to, yes, women can be narcissists. Let's not get it twisted. Humans can be narcissists, but I can talk about what I had to go through.
Yeah,
or
I
can
want to
talk
know. I
about-
want to know from a male perspective, what are some things that your experience from a woman that was a narcissist? Like, how did that go? Because is it the same thing? Is it the grandiosity? Is it the gaslighting?
So understand, gaslighting is a term used to simply make you question your reality. It's a term created in 1956 from a movie, and it's just kind of taken off from there. But the idea and the premise is that, you know, you said this. No, I didn't say it. I remember you saying this. No, I didn't say that. It's complete deniability. So in your mind, you're like, no, I remember you said that. So then you start recording conversations to prove like, no, you said this. But the idea behind it is to simply make you question your reality. It's another form to isolate you. So like, you can't be around your friends. I don't like this person. Don't hang around nobody, because it's easier to control you if I isolate you from your family and friends. What happens to the other lady when she was talking about, he was talking about me behind my back? That's called a smear campaign. The smear campaign happened long before you realized, and they were already creating the way and the narrative to be able to exit out of the relationship and enter a new relationship that they already had building up to replace you. And it's no offense, that's just what happens through narcissism. And that's how you see people move on so fast into the next relationship. They're in a string of relationships because they were already preparing this person to replace you, right? So you're like, they got a girlfriend, they moved in, like, because they were already in stages of preparation. So for me, I mean, gosh, I went through the smear campaign. I went through the gaslighting. I went through domestic violence. This is real. Men aren't going to put their hands on women, right? But you're in a situation where you have a woman who's punching holes in walls, a woman who will fight you. What do you do as a man? I called the police. I wasn't playing. And I became the narcissist nightmare. And this is just for everybody. How you take control. You say no. You go no contact. You literally have to read books and find articles to understand what you are actually dealing with. And it can take years to stop the rumination of the negative, the thing like, oh gosh, how could they do this? Narcissists do not provide closure. There is nothing that you're going to ever understand about why they behave the way they behaved. You're never going to understand why they chose you, except because of you can give to them. You were only a source of supply, like you gave to them. That's all. There was nothing about you that they loved. They loved the idea of you, and they only loved what you can give them. And once you started catching wind, you are no longer a viable source. And that's why you notice your relationship starting to end and crumble, because you realize that none of this is true, what they're talking about. And that's when they exit. So as you become more and more aware, that's when the whole thing crumbles. And now you're not even sure who you're dealing with anymore. My ex-wife, she tried to get me fired, wanted to get child support, spousal support. Never happened. I can provide reasons why in the state of California. But as soon as she got arrested, it was child endangerment and she was arrested. I gained full custody at 2 months old. I hired an attorney. I paid $3,000. And I hired an attorney who all intended purposes, she walked around with a gun. She was an Italian woman here in Stockton, California. And she got me full custody, physical and legal. And I don't play around. I follow the visitation and custody order. I've ordered books on understanding in sheep's clothing. I mean, you're gonna laugh at some of these books, but I really literally had to read about narcissism. I had to read and learn about how to deal with somebody like this. And this is one of the most pivotal books that I read. But these are, and you can see how thick it is. Like, these are what I had to do to build up my arsenal. I have a child with this person. You know, I keep copious notes, a calendar of exchanges, what I'm doing. You know, there's other things that I'm when I say I don't play, I don't play. If they don't follow the order, you file contempt right away. And there's different types of narcissists. There's what's called malignant narcissists who get violent with you, will destroy your property. There's some ladies on this show right now who've experienced men destroying their property, their cars, and everything. And she tried to, she couldn't, because there was a restraining order placed by the state, still in effect today. So I was able to maneuver away from this person. We still raise a child, but I have majority custody and visitation. But this is that experience. So for brothers who experience, man, she won't let me see my kids. She claimed the kids on her taxes. All these things are all illegal. And men don't even know what to do. They get so blindsided. They have no support. A lot of people who go through narcissist relationships, they have no support because family doesn't even understand what they're going through, because they see this person and like, this person's normal. This person's real. And sometimes they'll use your family and friends to get at you. They're called flying monkeys. Understanding these terms, the terminology surrounding it, word salad. That's when you ask them a question and it don't make no sense what they're saying to you. And then they'll walk away after they left you with something that didn't make any sense at all. Confusion is a red flag in any situation regarding a relationship. What more would you like to know, Constance?
At what point did you know she was a narcissist?
From day one of her being arrested.
How long into the relationship was she arrested?
I had making the threat that I was going to call the police on her for 1.5 years.
Wow.
Like, if you keep being violent with me, I'm going to call the police on you. And it came to that point where I just had to, because again, being an empathetic person, I don't want to see my son's mom go to jail. I don't want to see my son's mom arrested. There's these, even for the ladies, I don't want to roast this man and put him down because he's possibly going through something, right? Because we're being empathetic, but in reality, we are being abused. And that's the reality. When you're in a narcissistic relationship, you are being abused.
At what point, for all of you guys, at what point, I mean, well, does a narcissist have the ability to love? Does a narcissist have the ability to love? Is it possible?
No.
No.
So they don't love you. They don't love like normal people love. They only love, it's the superficial capacity, only loving what somebody can do for them. It's you're being used. So I love you, Constance, because you're giving me $1,000 every month. You stop giving me $1,000, we got a problem. You stop doing what I want you to do, we got a problem. And a lot of women and men have gone through this situation where if you don't speak up and you don't say anything, you don't rock the boat, the relationship, in all intended purposes, is cool, right? But they can't be cool because it's not normal for them to be normal. So there's going to be drama. There's going to be this negative energy. There's going to be arguments that happen over little things, these blow-ups for no reason, and you won't understand why. Because it's the up and down. It's the hot and cold. It's all a part of the cycle to discard you. They don't love. They just love what can be done for them.
Shay, do you feel like the man that you were with for 5 years, do you feel like he ever loved you?
Absolutely not. When you're talking about a narcissist, you have to understand that the reason why they go after powerful people is because this is something that it's actually really missing. So the rest of the world looks at them like they are powerful, looks at them like, they're so, they're amazing people, usually very smart people, to be honest with you, usually very smart, very business-minded. But the emptiness that they have inside is what they're looking for in the partners that they are seeking out. So what I had for him is I was a very open person. I was, striving every day. I was loving, I was caring, all of those things that he cannot be truthfully. And so they're seeking out what they can't be. As a narcissist, no. My experience with narcissism is just that relationship, but also I'm a marriage and family therapist, clinical counselor, and, certified life coach. And let me tell you, I've dealt with children that are narcissists. And,
really?
on the border of not wanting to apologize to someone because they don't see them as people. based on however that person, this one's in particular, the person that this person hurt was, was disabled. So in this person's mind, and this person's narcissistic mind, this was not a person. So why should I apologize to it?
So they don't view you as people?
You have to understand there is like the gentleman said, there are different levels to narcissism. Like any mental illness, this is not something that they're like, oh, I feel like I'm going to ruin somebody's life today. Mm-hmm. No, it's an illness. It's a sickness. It's, how can I get what I cannot feel within me today? How can I do that today? Wow. And then once I do get it, I'm going to make you feel like you're not worthy of me because now I have it. The problem with that, it's like being on a high, right? So once my high is gone, I need it again. And so now you have the person, being, wanting to either go after that same person or wanting to go after other people. And so you asked me, what was my turning point? And so my huge turning point was, being pregnant and contemplating abortion. That's when I knew, like in my soul of souls, that, oh, wow, you're in something that you just cannot. Why did I never leave? Is because my narcissist is the one that will go to leaps and bounds to find me. I have not had any contact with this person in over 10 years. And I guarantee you, every few years, somehow this person finds me. So you do have to be careful, and you have to know what type of narcissist you're talking about, because some of them are very, very dangerous. It is not just simple sometimes to just say, I'm going to change my phone number and I'm going to not talk to you at all. The one that I have, if I completely never had any contact, it would not make a difference, because this person would make sure that we had contact. And if we did not have contact, that would probably be a huge problem for me and my family. So it can be that bad, because they get fixated on a particular person or, a particular feeling. And and many times you really aren't really a person, because you're not more important than they are. No one is.
So Denise said, how does somebody become a narcissist, like especially a child?
You can say that people are born narcissists. You can say that it's learned. It's like one of those things that you don't know if it's a learned behavior or it's an innate behavior, right? But from my experience and practice and my experience, with the personal experience and just listening and understanding the stories of my narcissist, this was something that was developed for him, but developed at a very, very young age. There's, stories from the family of him being, very loving and very caring towards, his siblings. But then there's also the stories at around about 5 or 6 where things like giving this person a bologna sandwich and you having a ham sandwich was a problem for him, and a traumatic event, because he remembers that clearly, like that was just wrong. That shouldn't have happened. I'm bigger and better than that. So, you can't really pinpoint like any other, mental illness exactly if it's an innate behavior or if it's a learned behavior, but usually you see it very, very early on. Usually parents can say, yeah.
So can
we know.
Change? Can they change?
You would have to define change. Can a narcissist be cured?
Yeah.
No. But can they make changes in order to try to understand how to care and try to understand where they have been wrong? Yes, they can. I know I see you shaking your head, no. But what you have to understand is that the human mind, it it's not indefinite. Everything that you do is not indefinite. There are ways that you can change. And some narcissists actually really want to change, but they will continue their lives, usually just, you know, it won't be easy. It'll be hard all the time.
Do they know that they're narcissists?
No, most of them don't. No, absolutely not.
And so did you say they're born that way or they're bred that way? Because I know a lot of narcissists have mommy issues. Are they born that way, or does something happen in their lives to make them become that way?
From my experience, there's something that happens at some time at a certain age, but you can't really pinpoint and say if they were born that way or not, because usually the event that happens is when they're like 5 to 7 years old. But who knows what was going on in their mind before then? But that's the first event usually that they can remember.
Yeah.
You know, I've worked with one child who runs their whole household, and everyone just kind of bows down and kneels to everything that this child says because of the angry outbursts that happen. You can say that this child became a narcissist because he's used to people bowing down to him. But you could also say that the reason why everybody bows down to him is because he's a narcissist.
Wow.
You know, you don't know if the chicken came before the egg. We're not really sure, right? But you do know that this person, you have to understand that these people are not happy inside. These people are suffering. Okay. They're not happy saying, I run the world. I rule the world. I do, you know, you do whatever I tell you to do. Most of them are battling with things inside daily. When their heads hit the pillows, like our heads hit the pillows, they're looking at everything that they just did in the day. And they're going, I can't believe I just did that. Okay, I'm going to go to sleep. I'm fine. And they will redo it all over again in the morning.
Wow.
But do they know that they're a narcissist and, you know, every day what they're doing is completely wrong? Absolutely not, because it's a high. You know, imagine waking up early in the morning and the first thing that you do is, you know, you say you're an alcoholic and you take a drink the first thing in the morning. And then all throughout the day, you're continuously drinking, and everybody's saying how good of a person you are because you're drinking and how wonderful you are when you drink. It's like that. It's like, okay, well, this is something I should keep doing.
Wow.
You know, if I'm with someone, whether it's female or male, and this person is continuing to listen to my commands, continuing to stroke my ego, continuing to allow me to be grandiose, continue to do all of these things, you know, I'm thinking I'm doing right. And anytime you tell me I'm wrong, you're wrong.
So let me just reset the room really quick. So for those of you who are just logging on, and again, there are thousands of people that are watching right now. You know, this Derrick Jaxn issue that we've been talking about all week is not a new issue, but we really wanted to get into kind of what narcissism is, because I think it's clear when Derrick Jaxn did this video. And I'm going to show it to you guys really quick. I'm going to just show you a little clip of his video. He did a video in third person of himself reacting to the video that he did with his wife, which clearly showed his narcissism.
It may be. So, when I looked in the comments of this video, I don't know if old boy was trolling or not, but he said, D, I think I want to see a reaction to this video. So let's do it. And by the way, I'm going to speak in third person. A lot of you already seen this, but this is Derrick Jaxn. A lot of people think of him as a relationship expert and guru and all of that. Well, he and his wife are making this video because apparently at some point in their marriage, or maybe even beforehand in the relationship, he didn't take his own advice and he stepped out and he got involved with other women, as you heard them say. Now, upon first impression, nothing really stuck out to me about him, but more so about the wife. Like, I heard her say that she stands with her husband. She's proud to love him. I heard her say that, you know, this is some time ago. They've already processed this, overcame this, dealt with this a long time ago, and nothing's really new to her. But just by her body language, I was really wondering, like, did he force her to do this video? Like, she looks super uncomfortable, like she doesn't want to be there. But then I watched their live chat that they did right afterwards, and, you know, I kind of caught that this is just a part of her personality, so that kind of explains somewhat of her demeanor. You know, she clearly has a mind of her own, if you saw the live chat too, and she said that the live chat even was her idea. So with that, cool. She wants to stand by her husband. She feels like he's worth it. She has that right. Now, as far as what he said, I understand and I completely applaud him taking accountability, because too many times we see dudes and they got this sob story about how they was raised and, you know, they broken home and the goldfish died and they never seen a marriage and all that. He didn't do that. He just took accountability. Regardless, whether you like him, love him, or hate him, I think this is a great example as to why we don't need to be putting anybody on the pedestal. Nobody. And I think a lot of women did that. And I'm not even going to say it's the women's fault by themselves, because this dude, he never really showed his struggle. You know, we understand, oh, we're all humans and we all make mistakes, but he never showed those mistakes, not for real. I think he wrote about it or something like that, but he never showed that side. So it's not really all on the women, but I've seen a lot of women put this dude on the pedestal to the point of idealizing him and even comparing their man to him.
If that ain't some narcissistic-ish, I don't know what is.
Constance, that is a cry for help. That is a cry for help. And a lot of times they will tell on themselves so that they can get caught. That is a cry for help. Anytime you can talk about yourself in third person and say, well, probably this, well, probably, he knows exactly why he did it. And he's telling you exactly why he did it. And he's saying, punish me. Somebody please stop telling me that I'm great.
No, what he's saying is he's not even taking accountability. He is blaming other people for putting him on a pedestal. I'm blaming the women.
Because that's what the narcissist is going to do. He's not going to say that he's wrong. Right. But mentally, this is his way of saying, I need help. Who's going to say, you know, oh, well, maybe I did this, or no, maybe she did that. I'm gonna say maybe Shay, you know, was thinking about this. You know, maybe Shay was thinking that too many people around her was allowing her to get, get away with too many things. No, what he really wants to say is too many people around me was allowing me to get away with things. Mm-hmm. And you guys continue to allow me to get away with things. So I'm gonna keep getting away with things. That's what he's saying. That's okay. True. There's no maybe about it.
Jason, what were your thoughts on that? Because I seen you had your what did you think about that video? You're muted.
So for the record, for everyone on this phone call, none of us are licensed clinicians. We are not psychotherapists, right? We simply are experiencing these things.
Shay is.
Okay. Oh, right. Okay. You said marriage family therapist, correct? Not a clinician. You said marriage family therapist.
Yeah, that is a clinician. Yeah, that is a clinician. Cool. So MFT PCC.
I know that most narcissists are not going to get diagnosed. So this was the point I wanted to make. We are not, you might be, you are, right? But no, they're not going to get diagnosed. Most are not going to go down and get their mental health checked. None of them are. And the reason for that is because it's a part of being exposed, if they are. And then once they are exposed, can they be, healed or whatnot? They need to be on medication at that point, right? And that's a whole nother ball game that none of us are going to ever worry about. Derrick Jaxn, I don't even like talking about him because he's not all men, right? He just talking to a majority of women. He was just talking to a lot of women, right? But he's not all men. And narcissists project. They're going to tell you something about yourself, like, I'm going to get better than you, or you can't get better than me. But what they're really saying is, I can't get better. Like, you're the best I'm going to ever be able to get. And I know I'm not good. I'm not good enough to get better than you. But it's a lot of projection. I never trusted a guy who made car videos anyway, so I never paid him no attention, right? And the manosphere always talked about, the men in my groups, men should never talk about men. Men should never bash men. And that's a red flag as men. So if I'm telling
G-code.
You had a question?
No, I said that's G-code.
Yeah, so and that's not a bro code thing. It's just it's a red flag thing between men that, oh, that man talks about other men, he's messy. He's drama. There's a lot of issues going on with that, and so men will stay away from that. But women were attracted to that because they felt like he was a source of information. He was a source of information, but he was only a source of information of projection regarding himself. Mm-hmm. And he created a platform where he could talk about himself to the young lady's point, who's a clinician, that he was just talking about himself. What he wants trouble, if he wants help or not, I don't even want to use my mind to think about what he might be thinking about, because behavior speaks volumes, and he talks a lot. So,
well, listen, the Negro had the gift of gab, and he's sick, obviously, but he was able to generate millions of dollars because of his gift of gab, narcissism or not. Tamisha, what did you think about his video?
You said I can't say that word on here. No, he's full of it. Like, yeah.
He what?
I said, if full of bleep was a person, it's him. I've always felt that way. Even before that, I'm like, ew. Like it was something about him that bothered me. But thinking back, you know what? The dude that I talked about is exactly like that. Exactly like that. Like, will be on social media talking all this, you should treat a woman this way, do X, Y, and Z, and a dog the whole time. Same thing. I don't like Derrick.
What about you, Nia? What'd you think? You're muted. Yeah.
At first, when I saw it, I wasn't sure what was happening. I had to go back and watch it again. I'm like, who is he talking to? Is this fool talking about himself? I was in total shock. And again, it just really brought light to my own personal situation, and I feel like as women, as Shay was saying, she said it a little bit differently, but for me, it's like when you know better, you do better, right? And I had to hold myself 1,000% accountable in that moment. Like, this is the type of man that you've been dealing with, that is totally full of himself, that can have a conversation about himself, with himself, and approve himself at the same time, and still make you feel like you're the one that's out of order and that you're the one that's not qualified, right?
Wow.
And so I was like, oh my gosh, this is like real. It's one thing to start putting the pieces together and kind of everything starts unfolding. But when I literally am watching kind of like a movie of my life play out through these situations that have gone public. It's a blessing in disguise. Sometimes, God has a funny way of bringing stuff to your attention, because I feel like had I not kind of seen the reality and the severity of the type of man that, my ex was, I believe that I may have stayed a lot longer,
And that's the thing. That's the thing too, is like so many people, they don't, because they don't have the information. They don't have, they don't know. And so let's go over these like 10 signs. Cause I saw an article where there's 10 signs if you're dating a narcissist. And so, for each one, I want you guys to raise your hand if your narcissist did this. And then even folks who are watching online, just put in the chat box, like, this is something that you've gone through. Okay. So you might be dating a narcissist. You don't even know you date a narcissist. So just go ahead and raise your hand in the chat box as we go through these 10 signs that you're dating a narcissist. Okay. So the first one is always about them. It's always about them. Yeah. It's always about them. So folks in the chat box, it's always about them. They love talking about themselves. It says a narcissist friend said to me once, enough about me. Now let's talk about my music. Enough about me. Now let's talk about me. So it's always about them. So if you have that situation, go ahead and put your hand up. Say me. Number 2, they are always so very charming. Was your narcissist charming? Yeah, they were charming. Yeah. Yeah. In the chat, your narcissist was charming. Yeah. Always so very charming. So they almost are like, they're chameleons. Oh, I know people like this. They are grandiose and entitled. How many folks said they're grandiose and entitled? Your guy was grandiose and entitled? Yeah. Yeah. Tamisha? Yeah. Yours is grandiose and entitled too? Okay. They love to look at themselves. Did your narcissist love to look at himself? Yours didn't, Shay? Tamisha, yours did. Diane said, hell yeah. Yeah. All that. All right. Always a hero or a victim? Always a hero or a victim? Which one? Were they a hero or were they a victim? Huh? Tamisha said a victim. Shay, what was yours?
Both.
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 And yours was both too, Nia? Both. Always a hero or a victim. No empathy. They lack empathy. Your narcissist lacked empathy? Wow. What about you guys in the chat box? Did your narcissist they lacked empathy? Wow. Okay. They have a great ability to dispose of people. So when things don't go their way, or conflicts arise, or problems happen, they have the ability to cut people out of their lives. Yeah? They can just cut you off. Shay, what about yours?
I'm gonna say no if he felt like the person still had something for him that he could probably get. No. I'll give you an example. Like I said, it's been over 10 years. I'm married with children, everything, and literally, not joking, just about 3 weeks ago, I got this fake IG from someone. Sorry. Wait a minute. It kills my soul. I got this fake IG and it said, "You will always be mine, even if we never speak again." Yeah. It's been over 10 years.
So he's probably sending it to all of his victims.
Yeah. So not always.
All right. Okay. So they need constant attention and validation. Nia, Shay, Tamisha. So what about you guys in the chat? They need constant attention and validation. Do they? Carol said he used her for his career and then bounced. Ooh. Raquel said they cut you off quick. What did she say? They cut you off quick, but they come right back when who they lose cuts them off. So they'll cut you off, but then when you cut them off, they come back, they come running. Do you find that with narcissists it's a cat and mouse game? So like if you're chasing them, they pull back, but then when you pull back, they come back chasing you? Typical narcissist.
Yeah, we call that the push and pull game.
The push and pull.
Push and pull.
All right. They're overly. Oh, go ahead. Were you gonna say something?
I was saying we were playing tag, because it was like he would push back, and then I'm matching energy. So now I push back, and now he pushed back, and it was just a big game.
They like that, huh?
Mm-hmm.
They're overly concerned about their reputation. Yeah. Tell us about it. How? In what ways were you concerned about their reputation?
Well, him, it's funny because a lot of our stories are very similar. He had this grand idea and vision of himself. However, I believe that's where a lot of his narcissism, the root of that comes from, because he's not necessarily living up to who he really wants to be mentally, physically, financially. And he is like dying in his own body because he just cannot get out of the rut that he's in. But really, honestly, I feel like if he would kind of have some self-reflection, and I know that's probably not even possible because he's a very talented guy. He's a chef, he's a photographer, he's handsome. He just cannot get it together because his mind is so messed up. And so he just really kind of sees himself bigger in his little fantasy world that he created, and his reality is not matching up, and that is tormenting him, literally.
Wow. They get injured easily. They're quick to inflame in anger and get what a therapist call a narcissist injury quite easily. So like they can dish it out, but when they get it back, they injure very easily. Was that your guy, Shay?
Oh yeah, that's every narcissist, because you have to understand, like, yes, as she stated, that they they have to be in the limelight, right? And anything that looks like you're going to ruin my reputation, anything that looks like you're reflecting back at me that I'm not perfect. Oh yeah, they could cheat on you 50,000 times, right? And you could talk to somebody, and all of a sudden you're the most horrible person in the world. I can't believe you've done this to me. Why would you do that? X, Y, and Z. And make it like you just had babies with somebody, because you cannot tarnish what everybody else thinks about them around them, because you have to remember that their world isn't real. And so if anybody else finds out that their world isn't real, you completely break them. You completely break everything that they stand for, because it's all surface. None of it is in depth. None of it.
Jesus. Wow. Do you find any narcissists religious? Because I know that there are a lot of like narcissists like in the pulpit because they love that grandiosity. Do you feel like there are some narcissists that are like highly religious?
I feel that there are narcissists that will use religion as a tool. Are they actually religious? No, because nobody is greater than me. So yeah, no.
Wow. Wow.
Mine had denounced religion because of his childhood. And remember, I told you his grandfather was a pastor, so that's why he didn't really believe in church and God and all these other things. Yeah, it's crazy. I can't even believe I dealt with that, but it's true. He didn't. I'm so like done with myself, Yeah, but yeah, he denounced religion, so he was not into it at all. Mm-mm.
Wow. And I guess narcissists come from all walks of life, but this is a very interesting conversation. I think everything that I do when I come on here, I like to try to bring some kind of light to us as a community so that we can do better, be better, have better, create legacies for our children. And this right here is so interesting because I think a lot of us probably for years, people for years and years have dealt with narcissists and not even known that they were dealing with somebody with a mental illness. And this is so good because what we've done tonight, I think we've saved some people a lot of time, headache, heartache by, sharing your experiences, sharing the signs. If you are dealing with someone who are exhibiting these flags, run. So I want to, just end by having you two, because I think, did we lose Tamisha? But I want you guys to give us some last words. Oh yeah. Let me add her back in here. So, oh, look at her. Oh, she's going out to the club tonight. All right, Tamish. All right. So T, I want you to go first. Can you go first? Just kind of give us some last words of and some reflection of what you think and, some encouraging words.
Well, I'll say this. For anybody, male or female, you never know when you're going to come across a narcissist. It's not like you don't know. But if you see red flags at any point in time, please get away from these people. The longer you stay, the more detriment you do to yourself. Love yourself enough to walk away. Don't give nobody all of your energy. Don't give nobody all of your time. When you see those signs that we talked about, I promise you, life will be 150% better. I just started being okay maybe a year ago from something that happened 4 years ago. Huh?
Oh, wow. So a year ago from something that happened 4 years ago.
Yeah, because I was toe up, like even to the point of I went to the hospital, like I was stressed out, like I had to be admitted to the hospital. It was that bad.
And this was a 9-month relationship.
I'm telling you, I was in debt. I was crazy, drinking like a fool. It was bad. It was really bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. All right, Nia. Last word.
Well, I would definitely echo what Tamisha shared. I saw a meme on Facebook and it was like, my toxic trait is I want to see how red the flag is going to get. Right? So as women, when we see the pureness and the sacredness of how they got us even start turning a light shade of pink, you need to go. Don't wait around. Don't second guess yourself. Don't, just put them above you. At the end of the day, we talk about self-love, we talk about self-worth, we talk about self-acceptance and all of these things. But one of the things that I learned, and I'm still learning, is that selfishness is key to all of that. Because if you don't learn how to be selfish, and if you don't learn how to create boundaries, if you don't learn how to correct people when they are doing things that are not right, when they're doing things that make you uncomfortable, when they're doing things that are disrespectful, if you don't learn how to put the selfishness, emphasis on the self first, the self-love, the self-worth, all of that is just a taboo conversation. And it doesn't even apply to even our reality as women. So we have to really hold ourselves accountable. Don't wait to see how red the the flag is going to be. Once you see an indication that something is not right, choose yourself and be selfish.
Be selfish. That's a great, great lesson. We need to be selfish, think about ourselves first, love ourselves first. I love it. Miss Shay.
Yeah, thank you for that. I think that's interesting, being selfish. That is a huge part of it. Someone in your comments, I didn't catch your name real quick, but someone in your comments said it was too late for them. Something about it being 15 years. Yeah, 15 years with the narcissist, I know now, but wasted way too much time. It's not too late. Okay. I just want to tell you that because you have to know and understand that in order for someone to be able to do something like this, you know how they say hurt people, truthfully, they are hurt inside. And because they are hurting other people. All right. Sometimes they may not know or realize exactly where the root of their hurt is coming from, or that they really are hurt, but they are hurt people. What I would say to those that have never come across a narcissist is just to know yourself. You have to know yourself and understand yourself, and, be centered with yourself so that you don't allow, is it Tanisha?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, like Tanisha said, so that you don't allow people to, break through your boundaries. I'll say for myself and for other women that I know, because I have not ran across any men sitting in my office that has had a female that was a narcissist. But for myself and for other women that I know, it was the fact that my brokenness allowed an open door. Right? Our brokenness allowed an open door. And then, when you start seeing that your friends and your family don't want to hang around you and that person, when you start seeing that you're being isolated, when you start saying to yourself, oh no, everybody's just jealous, when you start seeing that you are no longer being the person who you were and you're losing who you were, when you start seeing all of these signs, we talk about red flags, but you have to call the red flag what it is.
Right.
Okay. When you start seeing these signs, those are what we call red flags. Okay. When you can't go to work because, they want to spend time with you, but every time they spend time with you, you guys get into some sort of an argument and it's a horrible time. Those are red flags. Okay. You have to look at those red flags, and you have to take responsibility for your part in it. Yes. But you also have to know and understand that this was abuse. You have to understand that. So, do your part to remove yourself from the abuse. And usually what do they say is it's, for every 1 year that you're with someone, it's twice, right? It takes 2 years. So if you're 5-10 years with somebody, you times that by 2. Yeah. Before you completely are removed from it. But you have to make the first step, and you got to remove yourself from it, because you'll start seeing all of these things that you didn't really see before. And truthfully, I will tell you, I'm not just plugging it in there because I'm a therapist, but you need some therapy. You need some therapy, because your therapist is going to help you Everybody needs therapy. Yes. Your therapist is going to help you, figure out and compartmentalize all of the feelings and emotions that you've had over the years or months or whatever. And then they're going to help you understand the narcissist mind. You go inside the DSM. I got my DSM open right now. And 301.81 will tell you all about a narcissist.
What's that?
Okay. That's the DSM is the diagnostics book that we use in mental health. You can buy you a little pocket one. I encourage everyone to understand behaviors, understand, mental disorder, understand personality disorders, because that's how you understand who you're around. Now as a therapist, I can see this person coming a mile away. I saw Derrick Jaxn coming a mile away. I was like, in a minute, somebody gonna post something saying he a whole fake.
Wow.
And it happened.
Wow.
Because he's just doing this because, can you learn something from him? Absolutely. He just told you in 9 years how to deal with the narcissist. He just told you in 9 years how to stay away from him. He just told you.
Right. He just talked about himself.
Exactly. He just told you. So when you see people, so go back and listen to all of the, the 9 years of video that he put out there. When you see people that are acting like that, you will know, because he told you this is the way that we act. Believe him. He just told you about himself. Believe him.
Wow. That was deep. That was a lot. So you guys, for everybody who joined us, again, there are still thousands of people that are just kind of hanging in there with us. But thank you guys thank you for your input. This was so fruitful. A lot of people said that they have received so much, that they are so glad that they logged in and heard your stories, because I really believe that the things that we go through are not just for us, but they're to help other people. I often say that my hardship is the blueprint to help somebody else. So thank you for allowing your hardships to be the blueprint so that somebody else can leave a little bit earlier, that they don't have to go through it, that they can make a U-turn once they see the signs, that they can look at that flag and look and it's pink. And they can run the other way when they see it pink. They don't want to get the red flag. They see it when it's pink, baby. Come on. They turn the opposite way. So thank you, ladies. And of course, Mr. Brother Jason, for being so vulnerable and open with us and transparent with us and letting us know your story, because it's a hard thing to think that you've been played like a fool by somebody who you thought that you deeply loved, but didn't have the capacity to love you back. And at the end of the day, that's what a narcissist does. They don't have the capacity. It's just not in them. And as badly as you want them to love you, they don't. And so you deserve something more. You deserve something better. So if you can, and I know it's hard, when you think that you love somebody, when you are in love with somebody, when you're head over heels for somebody, it is hard to detach yourself and let them go. But you have to do whatever you have to do. If you need to seek therapy, call Shay. Shay, what's your social media?
You know what? I am so bad at social media, and I'm sorry, you guys. I'm bad at it, but I'm working on it. I do, but I don't use it very much. But you can just literally Shay Buckner on Facebook, or I also have the power transformations. You can find me there as well. And I regularly give out my number, the 209-622-9234. If you want to give me a call, like I said, marriage and family therapist, clinical counselor, and certified life coach. I do life coaching, and what I do is I help people understand what their purpose is and finding a balance within their life, within themselves, so that they can reach whatever goal it is that they want to reach. I have a wide background that I have, been in myself, and I've learned how to pull myself out of things. And all I want to do is share it with you.
I'll be calling. Nia, tell us what you do and how they can get in contact with you. And you are muted.
Sorry. Okay, there we go. Well, Fabulous Life International, we actually inspire women to consciously create generational wealth. And Ironically, we offer mindset wellness, vision manifestation, and legacy planning. So there's a lot of things that we do for women. I've been an entrepreneur since I was about 24. I just turned 45. So I have a lot of experience and skills starting from finance and real estate, and have incorporated that to just make sure that women have the resources that they need. And that's why this kind of situation caught me off guard, because I am the mindset wellness queen. Like, everybody comes to me for inspiration. They come for me, to me for knowledge and information, and, just calling those things that are not as though they are, and how I didn't see this coming. But again, because your mess is always a message. And I just want to say thank you, Constance, for inviting me, because I was actually just trying to figure out, how am I going to turn this around for the greater good of not just myself, but for other women, specifically with my mindset wellness division of my company, because we need a healthy mind in order to be wealthy. Because if you are broken in spirit, if you feel down and depressed and unworthy, in any type of way, it's going to affect your finances, because we understand and we know that your past trauma will create money drama. That is a fact. And so in order to be strong-minded, you have to be full with armor in every area of your life. It's not just the money. I have so many women, they just want to figure out how to make money. I've been making money for a long time, but when life gets in the way, you got to understand how to bounce back and readjust and figure out, okay, so this happened. How do I get past this broken heart? How do I get past this feeling of doubt and sometimes depression? So those things go hand in hand. And so we walk women through that journey through our trio of consulting strategies. And they can visit my website at Fabulous Life International, or they can connect with me on Facebook, Fabulous Life International, and Instagram. And, we love to just have a conversation, complimentary consultations, to just see, where you are mentally, so that we can get you where you need to be financially.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, ladies, so much. You guys have been so wonderful. And guys, listen, this is not just for the ladies on here, but if you have actually gone through something like this, tell your story to somebody else. That you could be a blessing to somebody else, because remember, for everybody, your hardship is also the blueprint to help somebody else. So each one teach one, continue to share, continue to have these conversations, because it's so necessary. And just like I forget that person's name in the comments, they said they lost 10 or 15 years with a narcissist, and what they were saying is they just can't get that time back. And so we want to prevent you from doing that as well. So you guys have a happy Friday night. Take care.
Thank you so much, Constance.